Hi guys, welcome back to yet another edition of IG Live with Harman Pro India. Today we have a virtuoso guitarist in our midst. We're going to be talking to the extremely talented Adil Manuel. He's a chameleon of sorts because you can't really classify him into any particular genre as such. But let's hear more about him from the man himself. I've just sent him a request.
Hey man, are we live?
Hello,
Hello.
we are live.
We are live. We are live, guys. We're live with the K712s while Harish is
Oh,
on his.
okay.
Yeah, they're my favorite cans. I have to plug
Always
in.
glad to see those
Yeah, man.
beauties.
Super.
So, what's
Like
up? How you been?
that's a very long answer. So, which month do you want to know about?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was telling people that apart from being a guitarist, you're also a chameleon because you can't really classify Adil into any particular genre. Uh,
Yeah, that's kind of true actually. Because the thing is, I love all kinds of music from folk to classical to rock.
yeah,
There's
and
too
I think
much.
arguably that is what defines a musician. That has grown to accept all kinds of genres and absorbs music in the truest sense from any source, irrespective of its background or relevance or any of that.
Yeah, I know. I'm extremely happy to just kind of shift roles and get into that. So, like for example, if it's ad work, it's the art of it's like a micro world, So it's like from being like a people tree or like a huge tree, you have to think of like a bonsai, everything in 30 seconds. How do you
Correct.
compress this much into this much? So,
Right.
and then when you're playing a sessions, like recently I played sessions with Shan, who's this huge Bollywood playback guy. It's a different hat you don. He was extremely chilled out, and you just play for the music. You have fun, come out. That's it. Just need to switch on and off, and especially in the sessions world and especially in the commercial scene, you need to understand that someone's paying you for a particular sound, and you should be just happy doing that and have fun in the process, I think.
Right. Because your approach changes, everything kind of changes, right? When the whole setting is different.
It completely changes, and that's critical to the part that you play, like I cannot kind of walk into like a let's just say like a folk music session saying, "Hey guys, check these chords out, man." You'll get fired.
Absolutely.
You'll
Yeah.
get fired.
Where's the feel, they'll ask.
Yeah, it's alien to them. So I'd rather take like
Yep.
two acoustic guitars, and that's it. Just kind of keep one on an open tuning, keep one on standard, and see what the feel is. Sometimes they're just like one chord required, or maybe three or four chords required. Simple, just kind of play it out. Yeah.
Right. Right. So you want to share? So how has it been? How has the journey been? How did it start? When did you decide that this is what I'm going to do uh,
Okay.
forever?
Yeah. Well, that decision came really naturally, I think, and came really early on because it's all thanks to my folks who were completely immersed in music. They weren't musicians themselves, but there was a lot of music playing right from like the pop music of that time. That's the 70s and 80s. to like the film music of that time. And then of course my dad was like a lot into like rock music, you know. So was my mom actually. So there was everything from Zeppelin to Cream to Peter Frampton.
I think that's the best kind of approach because I have a soft spot for that as well because even I'm whatever little I know, it's all self-taught, and I think that really opens up your boundaries and because you can't be breaking any rules because you don't know the rules, right? I mean, there are no rules.
Precisely, precisely. So and we didn't know any better, right? Because I mean, schools only
Right,
started happening in the 2000s. So this is, I'm talking about late 80s, 90s and stuff. There was no other way but to figure it out on your own, you know. And
right,
uh, I'm not saying it's the best way or whatever, but I'm glad we learned this way because we then developed, I think, our own sensibilities and our own unique way of understanding the language of music and listening and
right.
observing, you know, which is crucial to you having a sound. If you end up picking up an instrument, you know, it's
True.
crucial in that sense. So I have no regrets as far as that. Of course, now it's way easier, and if I were born 10 years ago or whatever, like, you know, I would now opt for so many schools that are around because it just simplifies everything. That's great. I'm for both.
Great.
Um,
So then, you never found it difficult to kind of get dive into it whole or full time, or was there some opposition? Or
no, I was really lucky in that I didn't uh, like that I had a understanding folks, and they were like, okay, if this is what you want to do, then this is what you do. Just don't come back with regrets saying, oh, maybe I should have tried my hand at, I don't know, like whatever, something else, you know. And that's all the push I wanted. So throughout in my uh, 20 plus years of playing more, uh, I started, like, I had a very hands-on approach because I was very lucky to be around musicians who were better than me, who had more experience than I had. So I was always looking at them, observing, learning from them, you know, like a very practical hands-on kind of approach, be it live or be it in the studio. So that was always the approach, you know.
that's nice. Let's talk about your guitars. What do you play? Do you have a soft spot for one particular brand, or is it
Well, I've been a Gibson endorsee for the last, I guess, 11, 12 years. But having said that, I love all kinds of guitars. I love Strats, I love GNLs. I'm holding this is a Steinberger that I have.
Steinberger? Yeah,
This
nice.
is this is the ZT3 Pro with the trans trim. I don't know, like Instagram has a really corny frame, so you know, yeah, this is
Oh
this is
yeah,
a Steinberger. So you know, it's crazy. This is the
that's a lovely print on it.
yeah, it's a crazy guitar. And so yeah, I love all kinds of guitars because each it's like a car. Like one day you want to pull your Jag out, someday like
Yeah,
you
right.
want to show off with your Rolls Royce. If you're going down to to the market, you'll take out your Zen, you know.
it takes all kinds. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the story, and I think I definitely want to get some more guitars, you know. So now that work is coming back slowly, I want to save for some more guitars, but shh, it's a secret.
So what are you up to now? As in, I think the gigs scene is slowly opening back up, right?
Yes, the gig scene is slowly opening up. However, it took a pandemic for me to realize that I needed to shift and restart in many ways. In it that I had been doing live music for almost 20 years, and pretty much I was very comfortable in it. And being too comfortable, you know, playing wise, not singing wise, it's something I don't really enjoy, because then it becomes predictable. You kind of know before you even go, you know what's going to happen. It's like Tenet in a way, like, you know, like it's everything is mixed up. You kind of know what's going to happen. So I decided to
Right.
focus primarily on compositional work, which means ad film work, which means background scoring, film work, documentaries, web series. So that's my primary focus, and I'm lucky enough to be working on some projects that you guys will know of in the coming future. So that's the primary focus. Live wise, um, I think Feb March onwards it will open up. Jazz Day will happen. You know, all these things will happen. But the focus now is compositional work and session work. You know, because that I just find that interesting. You know, just to play with a new artist and just learn a new repertoire and meet new musicians. That's always my thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter what
Right.
kind of music, man. It's the vibe. I look at the vibe. If they're good, they're chill
True.
out people. I'm okay with it. It could be death metal, it could be folk, Punjabi, jazz. I don't care.
Yeah. They're all different flavors.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the jazz day happening? Is it happening at Flea Bazaar again?
So I don't know right now. I believe that's shut down, but it will definitely happen
Oh, really?
with social. This is what I'm told. I'm not too sure of that, but when the pandemic happened, there were two shows that was to happen there. So Jazz Day is April 30th, and then there's another one that is coming up. Was coming up, sorry. So now we'll kind of fix those dates. Um, I also formed a fun trio in the lockdown with some neighbors. One of them is a pianist, and one is a drummer, and we just converted my room into like a live room. So there's a kit. I don't know
I
if you
saw
guys
that.
all
I
that.
saw that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my room is like a mess right now. There's like cables and all that everywhere, the mics, and so we've been recording stuff here just for fun. So the idea now is that most Saturdays or Sundays over the weekend, I invite a drummer and a bassist to come by and jam, and then record some ideas, and that's the fun new indie project is like a trio thing. I don't want to go beyond three, you know, just shoot out ideas and record them and release them for fun. So this, yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, have you been doing a lot of scoring for commercials or those kind of projects? Maybe some background scores. Are you up for all of that? Do you do all of that or
Ye-
now?
Yes, I am. I am. Right now, the ad work scene is picking up. I used to, so keep in mind that I'm not a stranger to this. Over the years, I've always dabbled in it, um, have a decent reel, and it was never my 100% though, because live was always my 100%. I was always doing
Right.
live ensembles. I was also curating a lot of stuff for corporate events and destination weddings. So that will happen parallelly, but my focus now is going to be studio work. Um, yeah, so I'll be getting in touch with you guys very soon saying, hey man, I need some mics, I need this, I need that, I need this is my wish list.
You also curated an act for the live arena,
Yes, that is true. It was one of the
the Adil Manuel Collective. That was interesting. That was very interesting.
thanks so much for that that opportunity that you guys gave us. It was an amazing experience to actually have the right environment for a large ensemble. Otherwise, it's very hard, right? Technical things,
Yeah.
staging, lighting, sound. So you guys, of course, it was Harman live arena. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, we had all of that, and you know, one funny story was that because we were the last act, like we were the closing act, we had to sound check at some godforsaken, like our call time was 6 a.m. I think 6 a.m. or
Yep.
6:30.
Because the doors open at 12 o'clock, right, in the afternoon. So we
And
had to
so
get all of that done before that.
and so we're a large band. It was like a large, so we were
Right.
17 of us. We were 17 plus engineer.
70.
And when we got to the venue, you won't believe this, Harish. I don't know whether you have ever been there at 6:30 inside. They are blasting those ACs at -40. I don't know. It was like a warm day. You're not prepared for it. You don't even know what's going to hit you. And you enter, and you have to imagine this huge arena with industrial size ACs
Yep.
blasting. And we were just freezing inside.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So next time for
There
Harman
was
Live,
yeah.
next
We're
time for
keeping our
Harman Live,
fingers crossed. We hope it happens. Yeah.
it has to happen. It has to happen, man. It has to happen.
There was Emmanuel and all those. And who else was there? Sarosh was there.
There was Sarosh Nanavati, Shreya Bhattacharya from Peer Puppets, um, Danica and Samantha Fernandez on backup vocalist. There was Linford and Johan Coutinho
Right.
from Small Talk. There was Dheer Modi also from Bassani,
Oh yeah.
Dramani
Right.
Bass.
Dramani bass.
There was Ryan Sadri from Funkulos on saxophone, tenor
Correct.
saxophone. James Miranda from the Latecomers. There were quite a few guys, man. It was quite a six. Like I said,
Yeah, it was like almost half of the indie scene was up on stage over there.
it was a mad one, man. It was really really fun. I wish we could have played more
A
because
lot of fun. Yeah.
in these festival things, by the time you have played your half an hour, 40 minutes, you're just about to, you just warmed up. You're like a
Correct.
you're like a
Correct.
boxer, and then you want to play more, but
Yeah.
you have to kind of move, you know.
Yep. Sadly.
Um,
So
yeah.
let's talk about your gear. What's the approach you take? As in, do you try out different things and then you zero in on something, or is it like a journey all the time that never ends and you keep discovering things? And I'm sure it is somewhat like that, right?
So both of the above, both of the above.
Okay.
So currently I have because I can't. I mean, it'll be I have like six pedal boards hooked up for different things. One is a studio board that is never messed with. It also features the Digitech Whammy DT. It's just great for these things. It has a couple of even tides and uh, like it has all the paraphernalia.
You have the Polara also, right? If I'm not mistaken, or the Looking Glass.
No, that it didn't come.
Oh,
No,
we probably didn't have it. Yeah.
I'd asked for it. What I do have is the Lux. So I was coming to that. On the studio board, I have the
The Lux, right?
Lux, okay, which in my opinion is one of the coolest modulation / chorus pedals. Digitech themselves call it an anti-chorus pedal for all those who don't like chorusing.
I'm Harshu says, "Bajao bhai kuch"
What? Oh, I will. I can't see the
in the chat.
I will at some point. So here's the thing. There's this
Yeah.
guitar player that I follow on YouTube and Instagram. His name is Tim Pierce. I don't know if you guys know Tim Pierce. And he's like one of the biggest session guys there ever is or was. I mean, he's current. He's an LA guy. He's played with everyone. You name it, and he's on that record. He has the Lux on his board. He swears by it. I was like, wow.
Wow.
It's like this is great validation. I should tell people about this, but sometimes they won't believe it till they have some, like some big name validating something, saying, you know what, this is great.
Right.
So now I'm sure like the prices are going up on reverb and all that stuff, because people are like, hey, let's check out the Lux. And I'm like, I was telling you guys for years, and you never heard me out. I also,
When did you make the switch from processors to pedal boards?
uh, so I honestly, like I've always been on like, just like my music thing, on both sides, like analog and digital. But I did almost the complete analog move. I think mid 2000s, when I was too tired from taking, like rack mount gear. I had like a rack mount system, and all that tuners and compressors and all that shit, like like a complete 80s guy. And no one gives a rat's ass about it, firstly. And then secondly, you need a roadie. We don't have a roadie.
No one gives a rack's ass, you mean?
Yeah. So,
Sorry, I had to do that. Huh.
You need a roadie for that kind of stuff, man. And, it's like so much. So I said, okay, I can't do this. And I started making like analog boards. So depending on the gig, I now have 6 pedal boards. If it's like a singer-songwriter thing, I have like a very simple 3 pedal thing, which is like one overdrive, maybe like a delay reverb, or like a chorus reverb. That's it. Something straightforward. I have like a jazz fusion gig board which has a compressor, 2 overdrives. So like blah blah blah. So it depends. So it all depends, and I will still make like a specialized board, because each project is a different thing. So I will retain my tone, but for that project I will get into the whole thing of saying I need to make this kind of sound work. So I have a synth board and so and so. And it's only of late that I've again begun to add digital stuff back into the mix, just for convenience. But yeah.
But are you patching the digital stuff through the pedals, or are you just using either the digital or the?
So in one of the boards, I have an HX Storm. So basically I add all like, for example, I love DOD pedals a lot, but if I kind of keep them straightforward, like analog into digital, it doesn't sound nice. So what I do is, digital will always, or most times, give you the advantage or this thing of having an effects loop. So I can place,
Right.
I can insert these pedals in the loop. So that's when I'll use my envelope filter, or like the boost in the loop. So that's why I use a digital processor. What I'll do with the digital most times is that I will use the amp modeling from it. Mainly I use it for amp modeling, reverbs, delays, and EQ. And the rest I'll just use my pedal. So I'll always have my overdrive pedal, like an analog pedal. I'll always have an analog filter. That's where the DOD comes in, which is that beautiful pedal. I also kept this box out. I think it's out of circulation, but this is like one of the best metal distortions ever made. It's Ulta on here, but this is the it's the TL2. It's out. It's kind of, I don't think they make them anymore, but it's so well thought of. And for that heavy sound, that's what we need. It's.
Oh wow, that's meaty. I think it's clipping out. The iPhone is clipping it out, because the moment it gets loud, can't hear anything. This is what you were talking about, right? A few months ago. You were trying to do your classes live. Are you taking classes still?
I have a few students still, and those are like one of the things that kept me alive. Also, having a bunch of students who are like disciplined and loyal, and so a mix of everything. Mix of students and session work and playing work and collaborations. That's what kept me kind of going. And here I am.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Is there a
So
chat feature in
what's
our
on the
screen?
cards? Sorry.
Is there a
So
chat?
there's a chat screen that I can see. Mostly it's just people joining, waving, and then
Ah,
leaving, I suppose,
okay.
because everyone's got other stuff to do, I suppose.
Exactly. Hey, I just saw this. I don't know. It says, what Metallica song are you? Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, let's see.
Wow. Okay.
How
Where
does
did
this
that
work?
pop up from?
I have this option downstairs. This in the. How does it work?
Yeah, it's gone now.
And it should work, right?
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah, but how does it? How do you? How does one
It's
activate
on
it?
your forehead, like this. It's like a card on your forehead.
Oh God, I don't know.
But when it's zoomed in, I can just see song "Are You."
Ah, shit. Never mind. It's one of those things. But which
Yeah.
Metallica
What
song
is
would
that
it
though?
be? It's
Me?
yeah.
Uh, that's again a very difficult question to ask because I pretty much stopped listening to them after Reload,
Yeah.
because then they pretty much went mad after that. And then yeah, the of course the infamous snare from Saint Anger. Because throughout the album, that's all I could hear: tong 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 in every song. That was dangerous.
Oh man. Uh,
My favorite song would be something from Load, I suppose. Is
wow. Okay.
and of course the earlier stuff is also good, but then as with bands from the rock slash metal
Yeah.
area, it's
Yeah.
always a journey, right? There's the earlier stuff and then there's the new stuff. So the earlier stuff, I suppose, something from Ride the Lightning, and then
Yeah.
later on maybe Load and Reload.
Yeah. Even I would have to go with Ride the Lightning, or what is the one with Blackened and One and All?
That's the Black Album, no?
No. Uh, the one before that, the Black
And
Album
Justice for All.
and Justice for All. That's a killer one, man. That's a
Yeah, that's
really,
another good album.
that's a really
I
killer
would
one.
dare say even Kill 'Em All. Some of that.
Most of it, man. It's
Yep.
raw. It's in your face. I got Kill 'Em All when I was in class 5. How do I know this? Because how do I remember this? Because my dad, like I said, he was like a metal guy. I mean, he would listen to all this. So like he gifted me Metallica, Kill 'Em All. I still remember one holiday had come to school and Kill 'Em All. So I had like hit the lights and uh, seek and destroy, jump in the fire and all those songs. I still remember those songs. Um, so yeah.
Hey, before these go,
Yes.
I'll just read out some questions that have come in.
Yes.
So Devika's asking, what's your favorite band that you seek inspiration from? That's a tough one to
Devika, that's a
answer.
really, really, really tough one from. But one of my biggest influences ever has been, and will ever be, and the guy who kind of changed my thinking and about music and stuff has been Alan Holdsworth. So yeah,
Oh man,
I would go with like Holdsworth's, Holdsworth as one of my biggest influences ever, ever. Yeah.
he kind of taught you what one pickup can do, right? Like
He just, yeah, and just his whole approach to harmony
yeah,
and soloing and everything.
even progression. Yeah,
Progressions also like unheard of, alien like progressions. So if there's one artist I have to pick from, I would choose him. Then it just opens up. Then I can just go on because then
yeah,
from each style
right.
I'll pick up one guy and say, oh him, oh this one, oh she, you know. Um, what about you, Harish? What kind of stuff? I mean, like what's that one artist? Just one.
I am honestly way past that. I can't name one because I mean, when I was younger, it was all about metal, 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 metal. Hey, is that 180 BPM? All of that. But then when you kind of open up your boundaries and your horizons and you start listening to pretty much everything and anything except prefabricated crap, I would say, or auto-tuned crap, programmed stuff.
Yeah.
But even that has its own charm, I suppose. I even listen to electronic music, so there's stuff in that as well. But yeah, if you ask me, one band I keep going back to, probably the likes of Opeth, Catatonia, uh, all these people, mainly progressive stuff.
Right. Right.
Dream Theater up until Scenes from a Memory. After that,
Same.
every song became an exercise.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
Rush, man.
Adriano Sambati says, Mr. Adil Manuel, the man, miss our gigs, bro.
So I can't see him on because you can see him. Okay, shout out to Adriano.
Yeah.
Adriano Sambati is one of the best Brazilian jazz fusion / just bassists ever, and I had the opportunity to play with him and this amazing drummer called Douglas Shakerhand Las Casas, who was also the drummer for Angra, amongst other
Oh,
bands.
yes, Angra. Angra's a
Yeah.
great band. Yeah.
And we played like a power trio set for some festivals last year. So Adriano's a killer, man. He's like he got like that Jaco Pastorius kind of a guy.
Oh, my. Does he play fretless?
He also has a fretless. Hey Adriano, I can't see you,
Nice.
but miss you guys, man. Yeah, so
That must be something.
that is.
Mayur is asking if there's any advice for budding composers.
Yeah, just keep, there's one simple rule. My friend had this as his messenger status, and we should laugh at it then, but it just makes so much sense now. It's like if you don't compose, you decompose. It sounds cheesy.
Wow.
It sounds
Not at all.
But the thing is, regardless of a project, you have to be composing every freaking day. It could be 3 chords or 1 hour, this thing or something, or like a 1-minute clip. Just keep composing, man. It'll all come in handy. You got to compose. You can't call yourself a composer if you don't compose. If you compose only when you're called out to compose, then you're essentially faking it.
So, also, Beat Baba is asking, what about the Tool? Any favorite song from them?
What about the band Tool?
Yeah, the band Tool. I think he called them the Tool, but I think he's talking about Tool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Tool would be completely. Let's not go there.
Toolbox.
So,
Yeah. Man, they're a cool band. Nothing in particular. Honestly, I've never been a huge fan. Not that I'm not like I don't like.
let me guess. Do you prefer a Perfect Circle to Tool?
Tough question, but I mean, so here's the thing. I'm more of like a classic prog rock guy. Okay, so if
Right.
you talk about me, like I'd be much more comfortable with Rush, Yes, Genesis, those kind of bands, Gentle Giant.
I know what you mean because you can have Roundabout on loop all day.
Completely, and by the time Tool and all these bands came out, of course I would hear them out, but around that time my focus was either on like thrash, or it was like the whole Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, grunge kind of thing also. So,
right, Soundgarden, man, wow.
So a lot of people, I mean, don't know that I actually like just love rock and metal music still, because those are my roots, So it's not only just jazz fusion.
Yes.
And
Same here. He actually so Beat Baba actually asked another question: which guitar solo swept you off your feet, and also any favorite moment on stage?
Which guitar solo swept me off my feet? Man, there are too many of them. There's so
too many of them. Too many.
I I could write you a book, man. We could have like a session, because if I name one, then the other will be like, oh, I'm not, or this or that. But okay, I'm gonna take one off the bat. I mean, like off the beaten path. It's not like something that you probably would have heard of, or if you have, wow, hats off to you. There's a song by Tribal Tech called "The Big Wave." The Big Wave.
Oh, Henderson.
Scott Henderson's guitar solo on that will make you cry and make you leave the guitar and make you learn it and try learning it and worship it, and then make you just practice and figure out what the hell is going on. Sorry, you know, uh, The Big Wave. Check out The Big Wave by Tribal Tech and Scott Henderson's guitar solo on it. Interestingly enough, it's been composed by the bassist Gary Willis.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's one solo. When I still hear, I'm like, what's going on? Because it's so intricate. It's yet so well crafted. That's the thing, because they're not playing straight up, right?
yeah. I know what you mean, because there are so many solos that sound intricate and intimidating, but they don't resonate with you. I mean, you can't find that one vein which runs through, and that moment when you get it. Okay, this is what he's trying to do. Otherwise, it's just all over the place.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is going on? But these guys have, it down to an art form where they just know that it's a mix of like, uh, feel, knowledge, experience, and muscle memory. I think all of it comes because
Right.
well, a lot of it also is muscle memory. I mean, like,
True.
might not want to like discuss it or whatever, but every guitar player will have his pet licks that they will go back to. They will go back to their pet licks, at some point or the other. So that's a cool thing to do. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all.
I know what you mean, because when I fiddle around with the guitar, and I try to play something over a backing track or something, I keep going back to the rake,
Yeah.
when I'm playing.
Yeah, it's not a bad
That
thing.
pops up every now and then.
Yeah, like,
True.
so we all do that. Here's the thing: I could just do like a playing example for once. Okay, I'm just gonna do like a playing example. So just a very simple playing example as an exercise to make things interesting. If you have a lick here, right, like this, everyone knows. Right? Everyone keeps doing that, right? So you can just move that up the next set of strings. So you're playing it in the same way, but the context changes because the notes, they've changed. Or like so just taking one simple idea and then just moving it across different string sets and groups and frets, like positions essentially.
Yep.
Simple ideas will really open your head up. Like for example, take like a D shape, right? Like everyone knows a D major chord. I hate the Instagram this thing, man. It's so small, no? The frame. So it's here D major.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
And if I take the same shape up, it becomes like a dominant chord. Same shape. Mine flat 5. So same is the same value, So that's how you kind of start experimenting with the things like A major, like A major shape, open A shape. A major becomes a major 7 here, becomes a sus here, becomes a sus. I mean, we'll do like a lesson thing on the Harman.
Yeah.
Again, with like a better camera angle.
Yep, we can do that.
Okay, what's next? Any more questions?
Music Vignettes is saying you're very soft on the mic, Adil ji.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry
well,
about that. My phone sucks.
good pupil there.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. It's just my phone. It's my phone, and it's this whole thing, you know. If we were doing it on the laptop, then I would have hooked up the 214 and all that stuff, and we would have had great audio.
It's so strange, man. Matlab, I don't know. Instagram should come up with a web version, because if you have a laptop and an integrated mic and camera, you should be able to use that, right? Just like you're using your phone.
Exactly. But Instagram doesn't have it, so it's kind of weird. It's
Yeah.
funky.
And then
Okay.
you end up trying to find weird angles and spaces to keep your phone in while you try to look cool.
I know, man. I know. But thankfully, we already had a secret sound check, so we already figured that
Yeah.
out.
Which 3 or 4 people were privy to that, but yeah.
What's new with?
There was another question. Your favorite moment on stage, right? I think Beat Baba had asked.
Favorite moment on stage again?
Moment or moments.
Moments. I can tell you like a funny moment actually, because favorite, I don't know. Funny, yes. So back in the day, I used to play with a band called Silk Route, Mohit Chauhan, and one of their closing songs would be Dosti by a band called Junoon. Really super cool
Right.
band. Pakistani
Super
band.
cool, yeah.
Yeah. So that song would have an extended guitar solo, and I would, be running around stage. Many years ago, man, 10 plus years or whatever. And I didn't have a wireless then. I used to have I used to ask on my rider for a long, like really long, whatever, 20 meter, 30 meter cable or whatever, So at the end of that, I had somehow run around myself. I mean, like the cable had kind of gone around my feet. And as the drummer went like tragoop, like he hit, I jumped, but I kicked, but my feet were already like caught up in the cables. So I just flipped on stage. That was it was like it was
Did you fall over, or did you disconnect the guitar, or?
I just fell on my back because I just went like this.
Oh my. Okay.
Luckily it was the last thing. Like the drummer had given his, and I fell. But just to make it look like it's part of the show, I just kind of kicked my legs up. Actually, honestly, I was trying to get the wires out of my legs because they were bound, but that made it look like it was actually planned, and that I was kicking my legs
Right.
up. Like
So the drummer hit the crashes and you crashed.
I
Literally.
literally crashed on stage. That was at there was some huge, like back in the day, they would have these huge college rock concerts or whatever, like where they would have some band, and then you'd be like the pro band with pyrotechnics and the big stage,
Wow.
and I fell there. So yeah, one of those.
Oh man, talk about coincidences. Music Vignettes is asking, Adil sir, are you a fan of the late Alan Holdsworth? We just finished having an entire conversation about Alan Holdsworth. So yes, he is.
Huge, man. He's like one of my. In fact, he is my biggest influence ever. I don't think any of us come. I mean, I don't even come like a trillionth close to what he's achieved. But what it helped me do is kind of just change the way I thought about music and chords and harmony and approach. Progressions like Harish was saying. Yeah, just Holdsworth. Yeah, we'll do like a whole Holdsworth chapter. I actually got to meet him when he came down. Which year was it? I have the poster on my wall. Let me see. Which year was it? Sandeep Chota got them down. He came down.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they came down as the Virgil Donati band. I have that poster on my wall. I can't see which year it was. 2011. So 9 years ago, and I actually got to meet Holdsworth, hang out with him. I also got to meet and hang out with Tribal Tech when they came down. Again, Sandeep Chota brought them down, so big shout out to him, for bringing down all these like my biggest heroes: Frank Gambale, Alan
Wow.
Holdsworth, Scott Henderson, so many more, man. I
Do you
got
like George Benson?
one of my favorite guitar players. He's like one of those guys who had it figured out, right? Like no one could touch him in the jazz world, no one could touch him in the pop and
Yeah.
funk world. It's just like he's just perfect, man.
That double red knot and the tone, you immediately knew that's him. That clean tone, that crisp
Yeah, and his approach,
on stuff like Breeze In and all that. Yeah.
man, he's like a living legend. He's actually on my bucket list. I really want to watch George Benson before he retires.
I'm sure you've heard of Vital Tectones, right?
Of course, I've actually seen them also. I've seen Vital Tectones.
Abroad. Surely they haven't come down here yet, right?
One of the avatars was here along with Steve Smith again. Chota got them down.
He came for a clinic, right?
He came for a clinic and a gig. So it was.
Oh,
I can't get the lineup, but it was a very cool lineup with a guitar player called Vinny Valentino, who I think is either a George Benson like student or like has that kind of style. He had named Benson as one of his biggest influences. So Vinny Valentino was like a Benson clone. Yeah, I've also hung out with Steve Smith, Machine Gun Smith.
Woden also?
Wouldn't know I missed some gigs here because it was like, so unfortunately on some of the gigs that I missed out Wooten, I missed out Sting.
Aaron Spears?
Aaron Spears also had a gig that day. There was
Oh.
a workshop, but I had a gig that day. So most of these things, these good things will happen over the weekend. And as a working
True.
musician, that's one of the things that as a working musician, it's your job or it's the party. You want to
Yeah, just take the musician out of it, and the working bit also applied to me because I had the opportunity to go and watch Aaron Spears, but I couldn't. Dheer had saved a seat for me, but I couldn't make it.
Oh man. But here's a fun story for all those who are here, and so I love Snarky Puppy, and as it happened, I already had a pre-booked session that day, which was like a big session on the day of the show. Now, typically, when you're going into a session, you don't know when you're going to get out. It could be a 2-3 hour thing. It could be a 10-hour thing, 12
Yeah, it's
hour
very
thing.
volatile.
You
Yeah.
don't know when the hell you're going to get out. So I didn't buy a ticket because I'm like, I'll be stuck with it. Then last minute. So it was in Andheri and the gig was happening at Mehboob Studio. So as it happened, I finished early. I finished around 3-4 o'clock. So I took a rig and I rushed towards the venue. I'm like, I'll try my luck. I'll see if tickets are available. I was checking tickets and all tickets weren't available. I'm like, shit, what'll I do? I'm like, okay, I'll find one of those guys outside, like those scalpers, who are always outside a gig and they'll sell you a ticket for more. I'm like, I don't care, I'll go. And so I made one final call to a friend asking, hey man, who's the sound engineer on this gig? And it turned out to be a friend of mine.
Wow.
And I called him up. I was like, hey man, can you get me in? Oh, like, yeah. No sweat, man. I have an all access pass. So I'll come and see you at the gate. So here I am. I walk to Mehboob Studio, like the main gate. I still have my gear. I have my guitar. I have my like box full of pedal boards and stuff. And he gets me in. He gets me in and we just go backstage. I dump my stuff. I get to check out the band rigging up and I'm like, so that was the Snarky Puppy story. Where, yeah, and then
I thought you were gonna take it a step further and say that you got to play on stage with him.
I mean, I could have played it because I was there on the stage. I checked out what pedals they were using, what kind of stuff, and then and that was a killer gig. I got to meet all of them. Of course, Michael League. The guitar player on that gig was Chris McQueen, I think. Chris McQueen was a really, really good guitar player. Yeah, just that was the story there.
Nice.
Um,
Wow, it's almost been an hour.
it's almost been an hour, man. That's what happens when me and Harish get to talk and hang out.
And it feels like we've just started.
Yeah, man. I really want to come by and check out the new experience center. Is that up? Is that up and about?
No, so the offices are still shut. So there's nobody to operate it. Even the premises that we are housed in, even that's shut for now.
Oh,
So it's only the employees who have some hardware dependency, or they have to do something in office. They can show up with their ID card and all that. Even otherwise, even Swiggy and Zomato guys are not allowed inside.
wow,
Still.
man, that's hardcore. That's hardcore. Yeah, I remember.
So soon, we're hoping things get back to normal soon. And then we'd love to have you over, man.
Yeah, and I hope this year we do get to do like a real world live Harman live arena, man. We have to do this for all the.
We have our fingers crossed. We have our fingers crossed.
We should do it this year. It's been a tough year for everyone, for musicians and everyone, you guys, the whole damn world. So I think it'll be great.
I think the whole world needs a pick me up right now.
Yeah. That's a great tagline. If you were an advertising guy, you would have won businesses worth.
Sorry, come again?
I said that's a great tagline. You would have won like a big business right now. Like if you were like the marketing for like some big.
Fortunately and unfortunately, I'm no longer in advertising. So, but yeah, I'll try and sell it to some ad agency.
Do that. Abhi phone kar abhi. This is my tagline.
I have you as my witness also. Yeah, this guy came up with it.
Correct. Exactly. So, thanks a ton, man. It's been super fun.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's been fun. Pleasures all ours.
I would love to do another session, maybe like a gear session where I take you guys through gear and stuff. If any of you guys have questions out there, just send it on the Harman page, on Instagram and stuff like that. And we'll try doing like a gear thing for you all.
For sure. Beat Baba's thanking you and us for the amazing session. He's looking forward for more. For sure, Beat Baba. And you're welcome. Glad to have you part of the session.
Yeah.
Chalo, we'll hopefully get together very soon in person.
Yes. If you're watching this live or if you're watching this later, I would like all of you all to like mention your top 3 songs, irrespective of what style or whatever. In the comments below, please put your top 3 songs there. Top 3 guitar
That would be.
I'd say top 3.
Yeah, let's specify.
Yeah, top 3 guitar specific songs in the comments below. Let's see, and the one that we'll choose as the winner will get some Harman goodies.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. Technical difficulties.
Harish, has always been a pleasure, man.
Likewise.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Pleasure's all ours. See you all very soon.
In 21.
Take care, guys. Stay safe. Bye.